Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOBH Alum Crystal Minkoff finally tells the story of how she lost 14 friends. Thanks to Sutton Strack, we'll never forget at least two memorable moments with Crystal Minkoff on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She was the one who pointed out Crystal's ugly leather pants and the fact that the brunette beauty lost 14 of her close friends. Sutton threw that friendship exodus in Crystal's face during one of their many. Andy Cohen questioned her about it at the season 12 reunion. But he didn't get a satisfactory answer from the second season housewife then. However, now that she's no longer on the show, Crystal is ready to spill the tea. The 41-year-old shared the story with Cynthia Bailey during an episode of their podcast. Crystal talked about the friendship drama on the Humble Brag podcast, after having us wait years to find out the real tea. The claim that she lost 14 friends is very true, and it seemingly stemmed from jealousy over snagging a diamond on RHOBH. One of her friends wanted a spot on the Beverly Hills franchise for quite some time, but when she got the opportunity, her husband didn't want her to do the show. Crystal advised her that if her family was against it, she shouldn't do it. A few years later, Crystal was chosen to join the RHOBH as the first Asian American in the franchise. I told my friend, who wanted to do it. And the conversation, while it wasn't awful, it wasn't great, shared Crystal. It was, why is it good enough for you and not me? The former Bravo star said she explained that their situations were different because she had the support of her husband, Rob Minkoff. After that, we hung up. And we had a nice text back. And then I never heard from her again, ever, said Crystal. Never spoken once again. That was about 4.5 years ago. Crystal revealed that the drama didn't end there because the rest of her friend group also dropped her over her RHOBH casting. There was a day in which I see a photo of our group of friends all together, and I'm like, why am I not there? And I called every single one, and no one answered, said the mom of two. Crystal said she wasn't just iced out. Her former friends also tried to jeopardize her relationship with her castmates by deeming them and making up lies. Crystal Minkoff, former cast member of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, has never been one to shy away from a difficult conversation. Known for her measured composure and ability to remain poised in the face of drama, the alum finally decided it was time to open up about a deeply personal chapter in her life. How she lost 14 friends. The story, one that had long been shrouded in secrecy and whispered rumors, has become a central theme in her post-RHOBH life. In a world where friendships are often put under a microscope and fractured in the glare of public attention, Crystal's tale is a rare and raw glimpse into the realities of human relationships, particularly those shaped by ambition, jealousy, and miscommunication. The unlikely origins of friendship. Crystal's social circle was once the epitome of Beverly Hills glamour, filled with high-powered professionals, socialites, and influencers. These were women who had it all: wealth, beauty, and a lifestyle that many could only dream of. Crystal was no exception. As a successful entrepreneur and married to the famed TV director Rob Minkoff, she was no stranger to the world of social high stakes. But in the beginning, her friendships were built on the classic foundation: shared experiences, mutual admiration, and a genuine connection. It wasn't always about the money or the status. In the early days, these women were my support system. I thought I had found my tribe, Crystal reflects. However, when you live in a world where competition is as fierce as it is in Beverly Hills, even the most seemingly unbreakable friendships can unravel. And for Crystal, that unraveling began in a way she never saw coming. The cracks begin to show. What started as minor disagreements over trivial matters soon evolved into more serious rifts. In the high-stakes world Crystal inhabited, there was little room for compromise. In Beverly Hills, people don't just have opinions, they have positions. You're either in or out. And if you're not in, you're out for good, Crystal recalls with a wry smile. Her first major falling out came with a group of women she had been friends with for years. The issue, as she explains, was a simple misunderstanding that snowballed into something far larger. It wasn't just about what happened, it was how people reacted to what happened. The hurt feelings became magnified, and suddenly, it wasn't about resolving the issue. It became about who could maintain the high ground and who would apologize first. Crystal is quick to note that it wasn't just about a single incident. This wasn't a one-time falling out. It was a pattern. Over time, it became clear that some of these women were just waiting for the next mistake, the next misstep. They were more interested in keeping score than in keeping the friendship intact. The turning point: RHOBH and the public fallout. By the time Crystal joined the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in 2021, the cracks in her friendship circle had already begun to widen. While many assumed her entrance onto the show was the catalyst for the fallout, Crystal insists that by the time the cameras were rolling, the damage had already been done. Being on the show didn't cause me to lose friends. It just made it harder to hide the truth about those friendships, she says. In fact, RHOBH provided the perfect stage for old wounds to be reopened. As Crystal became more involved in the drama of the show, she found that her personal life was increasingly scrutinized. The pressure to appear a certain way on screen only added to the tensions, and before long, the gossip started to circulate. Rumors about Crystal's relationships with her former friends began to surface, fueled by her appearance on the show. People love a scandal, and when you're on a reality TV show, everyone's waiting for you to fall, she admits. I think some of my friends didn't like how much I had changed or how much my life had evolved. They wanted the old me, the one who didn't have boundaries, who didn't prioritize her mental health. Crystal found herself at a crossroads. On the one hand, she was building a new life on television, carving out a space for herself in the public eye. On the other hand, the friends she had once trusted were now distancing themselves from her. Some of them taking to social media to air their grievances in passive-aggressive posts. The breaking point. It wasn't just the public scrutiny that broke Crystal's friendships. It was the quiet, insidious nature of how it all unfolded. As more and more of her friends turned their backs on her, Crystal began to realize that these relationships weren't built on a solid foundation. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when I realized I was losing people, she admits. It wasn't like one big fight. It was the little things, the invitations that stopped coming, the messages that went unanswered. It was the subtle shifts that slowly became impossible to ignore. In total, Crystal estimates that she lost 14 friends in the span of a few years. While some of those friendships faded gradually, others ended abruptly. Some of them simply disappeared. They ghosted me. And I had no idea why, she says. But it wasn't all one-sided. Crystal admits that in some cases, she too had to let go of certain people. I realized I had to prioritize my mental health. I had to cut off certain people for my own peace of mind. It wasn't just that they hurt me. It was that they kept making my life harder, she reveals. A new beginning. Despite the painful losses, Crystal is determined to take control of her narrative. While she may have lost 14 friends, she has gained a deeper understanding of who she is and what she truly needs in her inner circle. The pain of losing people is real, but I've also learned a lot from it. I've learned to trust myself, to value myself. It's been a painful but necessary lesson. Crystal has also found new friendships, ones that are more genuine and supportive. She's learned that true friends aren't those who stay for the good times and disappear when things get tough, but those who remain present and supportive, even when life gets messy. In the end, Crystal says losing those 14 friends was a blessing in disguise. I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't gone through that. Sometimes you have to lose people to make room for the right people to come into your life. Crystal's story serves as a reminder that not all friendships are meant to last forever. In a world where loyalty can be fleeting and personal growth sometimes requires distance, Crystal's journey of self-discovery is one that resonates with anyone who has ever had to let go of a friendship that no longer served them.